My friends, this is Dr. B, the best doctor in medicine. 30 plus years of clinical high-level experience in medicine. Today, I am writing, it is the 24th of July, 2025. I am recording this video for you because yet again, last Sunday, July 20, a young 21-year-old college student, a young beautiful female 21-year-old college student running a half marathon suddenly collapsed in the middle of the race and died. Why are so many young, beautiful, healthy people dying while running long distance races or biking long distance races? It is an extremely important topic for you if you are a young adult in your late teenage years, 16, 17, 18, or a young adult very early in your 18, 19, 20, in your early 20s, in your early 30s, in your early 40s. You have to be aware of the risks of running long distance races. This young beautiful lady in the city of Erie, Pennsylvania, on Sunday, July 20th, just 4 days ago, right now, July 24. So I wanted to, because I get pissed about seeing this happening constantly, every week. People in America, every week, people all over the world die. They are young or they are older people, and they die running these stupid long distance races, right? I had to make this video. To raise awareness. If you are a young person or also an older person, do not think that you are immune from sudden cardiac death during your race or at the end of your race. We see that all the time in the Olympic games, in national races, international long distance races, whether it's biking or whether it's running, half marathons, full marathons, 10Ks, and blah, blah, blah. Young people, older people, middle-aged people constantly collapsing and dying of sudden cardiac death, sudden cardiac arrest. That's it. The 21-year-old beautiful college students just collapsed in the middle of the race and died, right? It is very, very important to understand that your body, your cardiovascular system is not made, has not been created by God or by evolution, whichever one you believe. I believe in evolution, right? But if you believe that God created your body good for you, whatever makes people happy, your body, your cardiovascular system is not made to run long distance races. And that is especially true after the age of 50. But it's also true for young people. It's constantly the same thing happening over and over again. The same way that if I had any kids, I don't have no kid, never been married, no wife, no kids, and no girlfriend right now, right? Thank God. But that's a different story. If I had any kid, I would never ever allow them to play American football. Never. I would never allow them to go into gymnastics, because these are very risky sports. I would never allow them to go into motorbiking, car racing, and all this stuff. Isn't there any other physical activity, nice and healthy, normal sports that a kid can engage in or a teenager can engage in? Same thing for freaking boxing. All of them developing freaking mental disorders and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disorders by the age of 50, 55, 60. The former boxers, most of them, a lot of them, if they don't die during their career, right? Like all these mixed martial art people who just collapse because the guy is receive a blow in the head. I mean, your brain is not made, your head is not made to receive massive blows during boxing or mixed martial arts, right? Your joints are not made to be twisted the way they get twisted when you're a gymnast. The brain is not made to be tackled and receive all this trauma during American football, right? Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, right? They get all diagnosed by CTE. So it's the same thing for long distance running. It is a very risky sport to engage in. Why don't you just run a 5K and get it over with? What do you want to prove to yourself or to the world or to your family by running a half marathon or a 10K or a marathon? What is it that is worth to take so much risk? Why do people do that? Whether they are in their 20s, like this young, beautiful college student who passed away, suddenly she collapsed in the middle of the race. It was a half marathon. So that's 20 kilometers. 20 freaking kilometers. And that, of course, she's not the only one, right? Every week, just turn on the news. Every week, whether it's in the US, Canada, Australia, everywhere in the world, every freaking days, young and older people die while running long distance races, right? Or biking them. Because I don't understand. Why aren't you happy with running a 5K? Keep it at a 5K and that's it. And you're happy, you are fit. Run as many 5-kilometer races as you want. Do sprints. Why not do sprints? Why not do other track and field sports that are as good and will maintain your body as strong, if not stronger, than running these freaking long distance races that put you at high risk of dying, right? Some sports are just not worth the risks. You know, I go to the gym every freaking day, right? I do my cardio for half an hour, running on the treadmill or the elliptical, and then I lift weights, right? Pushing and lifting weights to maintain my muscle mass. I'm 50 years young, so I need to maintain my muscle mass, right? So I see these young people being proud of being able to bench press 400 pounds, being proud of being to squat 350 pounds. These people don't understand what they are doing to themselves. Your musculoskeletal system is not made, has not been created. Your spine, your joints, right, have not been created. Your knees, your hips, your backbone have not been created by evolution or by God to squat 400 pounds. You're just destroying your body, right? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me when I see this kind of worshipping of freaking extreme sports, right? Your joints. I don't have any girl or any boy, but let's suppose she would tell me, I want to become a gymnast. I would tell her, you know what? Instead of becoming a gymnast, why don't you do something else? Because gymnastics, the way you have to twist your spine, the way you have to twist your joints, just look at the former Olympians, right? By the time they reach 30, 35, 40, 45, they have had 20 surgeries on their spine and on their joints, right? Do you see any former Olympian who never had any body injuries and never any surgery, and most of them are in disability, right? Same thing for bodybuilders, right? Look at all these former bodybuilders. All of them, no exception, right? They had dozens of surgeries on their back, on their hips, on their knees, right? A lot of them, most of them are crippled by the time they reach the age of 50, 60, 70, even if they don't tell you, right? Just look at Ronnie Coleman, right? The poor Ronnie Coleman who won the Mr. Olympia 7 times. This guy had dozens of surgeries, knee replacement, hip replacement, dozens of spinal surgeries. He's crippled. He's on a wheelchair, right? At the age of 50 something or 60 something. He can't even walk normally, the poor guy. So why do people do that? I don't understand. But every week, every day, we get another demonstration as to why it is absolutely unhealthy to run long distance races. The same way it's not good to play football. The same way it's not good to go in high level gymnastics, right? Because unless, of course, once again, you make millions of dollars out of that, right? Okay, one might say, okay, why not? It might be worth it to become a boxer and receive dozens of blows to your head, and by the time you are 50 or 60, right, become diagnosed with freaking Parkinson's disease like Muhammad Ali Clay, Cassius Clay, God bless his soul, who had for the last 30 years of his life was suffering from chronic traumatic encephalopathy and Parkinson's disease, the same way all these athletes, right, suffer from the same thing. I forgot the name of that Green Bay quarterback, right, who got diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer and also freaking all these neurodegenerative diseases caused by all these tackles and all these brain receiving all these freaking traumatic injuries, right? So I beg you, if you are a young man or a young woman or a middle-aged man or middle-aged woman or a little bit older, why don't you just run a 5K? And be happy with that. Be content with that. Don't try to prove anything to yourself. Don't try to prove anything to your family, to society, because believe me, nobody cares that you ran a marathon. Unless, of course, again, you run it to go into the Olympics, win the gold medal, to make it your profession and make millions of dollars, and then hopefully you can retire quickly from this very damaging race called a marathon that is absolutely useless but also very bad for your body, right? Because your body is not made to run a marathon or a half marathon or a 10K. Your body is made to have normal, regular physical activity. You want to run long distance? Do a 5K, right? Just turn on the news and Google all these people who are constantly dying. It's very easy to do. People who died in long distance running, people who died in long distance biking. You're going to see a list of thousands of people from all over the world. Young people, middle-aged people, older people, right? So don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself. There is no point, and nobody cares. I swear to God. Nobody gives a cazzo that you were able to run a marathon or that you are able to run a 10K or a half marathon, except the temporary pride that you have yourself and that stupid certificate that they give you. Oh, certificate of achievement. Oh, look, Mom, look, Dad, I'm going to put it on the internet, on my Facebook account. Look, I have the certificate that I ran a 10K. I have a certificate that I ran a marathon or a half marathon. Nobody gives a cazzo. right? Why don't you concentrate your energy, your stamina, right, on other things, helping your fellow human beings one way or the other, instead of concentrating on your own egocentrism by trying to achieve something that nobody cares about, right? There are so many other professions, so many other healthy activities you can engage in, right, to not only help your fellow human beings, but also age gracefully and stay away from brain trauma, right, and sudden cardiac arrest. Now, let's suppose you have a younger kid, who insists and wants to do that. Or if you are a younger kid yourself, make sure that you have a consultation with a cardiologist. Means if you're so stubborn, or your kid is so stubborn that he or she really insists on on preparing for that freaking 10K or half marathon or full marathon, make sure that your child that you love so much, regardless of their age, or if you are the child himself or herself, make sure you have a consultation with a cardiologist to make sure that you do not suffer from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Because among many other reasons, that's one of the main reasons why a lot of young athletes suddenly collapse in the middle of the race and die. Now, a lot of them do not suffer from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, but a lot of them do. And one person in America out of 500, one person in America and everywhere in the world, one person in America, right, out of 500, one person out of 500, regardless of their age, suffers from this genetic disease of the heart called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. HCM. H, letter of alphabet, C, letter of alphabet, M, letter of alphabet. HCM, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, in which the heart genetically, it's a genetic disease, the most common genetic disease of the heart, by far, the most common genetic disease of the heart, can kill you suddenly while you are even doing normal sports, basketball, football, soccer, tennis, blah, blah, blah. But especially if you run long distance races. Now, I don't know the story about all these thousands of people who die constantly running long distances regardless of their age, but a huge proportion of them suffer from undetected, undiagnosed, because they never had a consultation with their cardiologist, before running that, preparing for that long marathon or long race. And a lot of them, either before, during the preparation, or during the race, or just after the race, they just collapse and they die, but it was not diagnosed because nobody knew they have this disorder, right? So if you are so stubborn that you feel that you need to prove something to yourself or to people by running a long distance race without it being your own profession, right? Which I don't see the point. If it's not your profession, it's not going to make you an Olympian gold medalist or winning millions of dollars, right? Then please ask your doctor, your family doctor, to send you to a cardiologist, right, for a diagnosis of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy to make sure whether or not you have that nasty genetic disease of the heart, the number one most common genetic disease of the heart, 1 person out of 500, which is responsible for many of the sudden cardiac death in the middle of the race, in the middle of the tennis court, basketball court, soccer field, football field, or at the end of any freaking race or biking or blah, 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 the guy develops sudden cardiac arrest and dies. That's it. It's over. 21, 20, 30, 35, 50, 60, doesn't matter, right? These are people who, a lot of these, their HCM, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, was not diagnosed because nobody told them that, you know what, you need to have a consultation at a beautiful cardiovascular clinic, like, for example, I'm not advertising, the clinic where Dr. B is working. I'm an expert in cardiovascular imaging, and then patients come, and I get a lot of them every month. Young people in their 20s. I had just 2 months ago, a teenager, 17, was referred because wanted to have this checkup, right? This green lighting for high-level athletics. Okay, good for you. And we check, we do the EKG, the stress test, and the echocardiogram, right? We get the probe, check the heart, blah, blah, blah. We can even do a genetic testing to detect this hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, HCM, that can cause massive, highly increased risk of sudden cardiac death during or after or just after the exercise, right? So we get a lot of these, but a lot of people don't know about this. A lot of family doctors don't know about this. So the guy goes see his family doctor, and the family doctor does a simple EKG, listens to the heart, does a blood test, right? And say, sir or ma'am, well, you're a 25-year-old kid, you're healthy, get out of here, go ahead, you can start running or biking long distance and blah, blah, blah. But actually the family doctor doesn't understand about how to screen for hypertrophic cardiomyopathy because he's not an expert. He's just a family doctor. He's a general practitioner. He's not a specialist like Dr. B, right? I'm a specialist in cardiovascular imaging. I know this kind of stuff like the back of my hand. But a family doctor doesn't know that. So if you are planning to run long distance, right? Even if you are planning to run at high level or to do a sports at high level beyond the regular sports activities, right? Or if you who is watching have a kid who is engaging or wants to engage in long distance running, long distance biking, or high level sports activities, make sure that you tell your kids or you send your kid, tell the family doctor, I want my kid to be referred to a cardiologist, not a family doctor, no, a cardiologist, an expert in the heart, so that your kid can be screened and detected for this nasty disease that can kill you with sudden cardiac death called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the number one most common genetic disease of the heart that can kill you in the middle of your activity, right? 1 person out of 500 has this disease. It's crazy, right? So please listen to me, follow my guidance, follow my recommendations so that we can age gracefully, stay away from sudden cardiac death, stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, heart failure, liver disease, blah, 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 cancer, neurodegenerative diseases. It costs $0. $0. You don't have to buy any fake supplements online that these scammers are selling you. You don't have to listen to any scammers who are telling you about this and that, which is absolutely fake news, misinformation, disinformation. Listen to me. I promised 30 years ago when I graduated from medical school that I will uphold my Hippocratic oath. I will never, ever, ever, ever tell you anything that is not the scientific evidence. I will never put my interest above yours. I will never sell my soul for money. I will never sell you any fake stuff. I will never tell you my opinion My opinion doesn't matter. What matters is the science, the fact, the proof, the scientific evidence. And this is what I always tell you. If you follow my recommendation, I swear to God, it costs you $0. It's so easy to do. Watch my videos and follow my recommendation. And I swear to God, we're going to age gracefully. And we're going to stay away from all these nasty diseases and, of course, also sudden cardiac arrest and sudden cardiac death. And we will die peacefully at the age of 100, healthy in our bed, God willing. I love you regardless of your gender, ethnicity, race, religion, color of your skin, politics, the Republican, Democrat, Independent, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Hinduist, atheist, black, white, Asian, Latino, female, male, anything in between. I don't give a cat. So I love you just because you're a human being. Put your comments, your question down there. I promise I will get back to you as soon as, God willing, I can in my super busy life where I work 8 to 10 hours a day and I love it, including Saturdays, and I will work until I'm 100 years old because retirement is not made for me, because I love medicine and I will be your teacher how to stay healthy until we die together, healthy in our bed at the age of 100 in our sleep, God willing. I love you guys. Hope to talk to you in the next video. Put your comments and question, anything you want to ask down there. And I talk to you next time. Thank you.